Welcome to Monmouth in Focus, a program about the services and functions of Monmouth County government. I'm Commissioner Director Tom Arnone, your host for this segment of Monmouth in Focus. Our county park system's incredible asset to our communities today. We are joined by Andrew Spears. Andrew, great to see you and great to be on board.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Well, as everybody knows, the jewel of Monmouth County is our park systems and everything that we have to offer there. And everybody thinks that there's the great facilities that we have, the great grounds that we have, golf courses and all those different great assets that we have, but there's so many events and so many things that you do. Maybe you want to touch a little bit and we could kick it off from there.
I'd be happy to. Well, Director, I like to start with the free stuff because I like a free event, and we've got a great concert series this summer at Thompson Park. 7 concerts, kicks off June 7th, a Friday night, with the Colts Neck Community Band, and these are completely free. You bring your lawn chairs, sit out on the beautiful grounds of Thompson Park, bring a picnic. And then we have bluegrass, we have soul music, we have storytelling, and these are family-friendly shows, and it's just a perfect way to spend an evening out with your family.
So last year I did attend one at night, and I didn't know what to expect there, and just brought our beach chair and sat out there, and I'll tell you, it was really relaxing, great entertainment. People were just so excited, and you could almost see like they were very thankful for the county offering that and the park system bringing all these programs together. So obviously, before we go on to all the other great things that are going on, one thing that everybody looks forward to, and that's the Monmouth County Fair coming in July. And maybe you want to talk a little bit about it, the date, what we actually offered there, and how successful it is.
Great. Well, it's such a good tradition for Monmouth County residents and their families. It's always the last full week in July, so this year it's July 24th to 28th. We have a ton of new acts. I think we're setting a record this year as far as a schedule of free entertainment goes. We have returning favorites, of course, the Racing Pigs and Bawana Jim and the Hilby the Juggler. But we have some new things. We have a butterfly tent where visitors can come interact with butterflies. We have Tommy Turvey, a stunt horse rider. We have some great local bands. Brian Kirk and the Jerks will be there every night. We've got free entertainment. And of course, the food vendors. Every year they get more creative with the offerings. And it's just a fun place to be and a great tradition for Monmouth County families.
Oh, it certainly is. I mean, obviously, I'm prejudiced to it. I mean, I think that it's by far the best county fair in the state of New Jersey here. So as you know, one thing that my predecessors and your predecessor, we took pride in is preserving land. And I think we've amped that up even more, and we're acquiring, not just back years ago where we acquired all the big parcels, the 100 acres and the 200 acres, but now we've turned that into looking at our smaller communities and seeing if there's acquisitions that we can do, and most importantly, especially if we see if there's parcels that are adjacent to water, bodies of water. And I know we just recently opened up one there in the boundaries of Middletown and Red Bank, Swimming River, and I pass it every day and just marvel of the asset that has come. And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, at 12 acres, you'd think you wouldn't be able to pack a lot in there, but we do, and the residents have really, really embraced it. It's become one of our most popular destinations. First of all, it's just beautiful, beautiful spot. I'd say it's probably the best spot in Monmouth County to view bald eagles. Almost every time I go,
really?
I see a bald eagle there, but it's just got a ton of bulkhead and docks where you can crab and fish and just enjoy the scenery. So it's a great place to enjoy the Swimming River and the Navesink River, and it has a boat ramp. You can put in your own kayak or trailered boat. We hope to later this season be renting kayaks for those who don't have kayaks. And it's really just an all-around park. It has a walking path where folks like to walk their dog or do their morning exercise. And it really has something for everyone throughout the year.
I know, and I know a little close to my heart, we're about to acquire a parcel in my hometown of Neptune City there. And that's going to be a great addition to the park that is a municipal park, Memorial Park there, but a lot of the improvements have been funded by the county park system. that have allowed that through, through our open space grant there that we've used there. So as everybody knows, probably I'm going to say one of our biggest revenue generators, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong there, is our golf courses. And there's a reason why they are. They are by far the most pristine golf courses. And, talk a little bit about what it takes to make them what they are. And am I correct by saying it's one of our biggest revenue generators?
Absolutely, and the reason golfers come back to our courses is the conditioning. I mean, it takes a lot of planning, a lot of work, a lot of expertise. Every one of our golf courses is managed by a skilled superintendent who's gone to school to learn about the agronomy, just the right amount of water and soil conditions to grow the perfect playing conditions for our golfers. And it takes a lot of work. They're there before sunrise every day throughout the season.
Oh, definitely.
We're mowing our greens every day. We're raking our bunkers. We want to deliver, a one-of-a-kind, world-class golfing experience. And we've been able to do that with the commissioner's support. And our golfers keep coming back. They're happy to have these conditions and at a pretty good value, we'd like to think.
And it's funny because, I guess our biggest challenge is trying to get everybody on that course because everybody wants to be on that course. So, we both hear that all the time, the scheduling component side. But, I think the thing that's when you go back into history, the thing that's so important is there is so much history here in Monmouth County. And we talk about all the historic things that are in Monmouth County. Well, Monmouth County Park System has a lot of historic sites, and maybe touch a little bit about those.
Well, the newest one that is just being discovered, I consider it a very, very special experience, is visiting historic Portland Place. It's right on the bluff overlooking the Navesink as part of Hartshorn Woods in Middletown. A beautifully restored estate home that Daniel Seitz left to Monmouth County. He also left, he bequeathed a significant amount of money to restore the house. He donated all of his antiques and papers and maps. And now we're open for tours. Residents can come and tour the house. They can enjoy views of the river, have a picnic on the lawn. And it's a very, very, very special place to come and learn about the very early days of Monmouth County. And then, of course, we have our old favorites, historic Longstreet Farm, still very popular with school groups and families with young children. One of our most popular programs at Longstreet is Morning Chores, where kids can come and help milk the cow and feed the chickens and collect the eggs and also muck the stalls too. But it's a great way for kids to understand the agricultural roots of Monmouth County and as it was in the 1890s. So that and historic Wallingford, probably one of our most unknown of our county parks, but you couldn't find a more beautiful location in Upper Freehold on the banks of the Crosswicks Creek. We have a working restored grist mill. You can come and see how cornmeal was made 100 years ago. So if you haven't been, if any of our residents haven't been to Wallingford Park, I certainly would encourage a visit there.
So it's amazing because we have taken every component, from the recreation side to the recreation for adults, to the recreation for the children, to keeping preserving land, keeping the open space, what Monmouth County is all about, then having these historic events and sites for people. We've almost touched everything. And then we've also touched our partnership with municipalities there with the open space grant, allowing them to improve their properties there through our initiative here, which we increased over the last year or so, and even added another component with the bodies of water, the dredging ability of surrounding towns have that. That's a credit to you and to all them. That town initiative is very popular, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, the commissioner has increased the annual funding for the park improvement grants from $2 million to $6 million a year. In fact, we're coming up on the deadline for applications. It's July 11th. We work with towns to file applications to improve their playgrounds and ball fields and waterfronts. And it's really helped some of our communities make their parks even more special than they are. Also new last year, as you mentioned, was the land preservation grants for the towns.
That's right.
And we already have 16 towns that have taken advantage of identifying parcels of land, many of them on the waterfront, that can be preserved. Some of them are very small parcels, but they're still very, very valuable. You mentioned Fairhaven, where we helped Fairhaven preserve waterfront access, and there are just many, many others examples. We helped Homedale Township preserve the historic horn antenna on Crawford's Hill, and we expect other towns to be working with the county in the future.
That's great. So all these things we put together, and of course, it's all led, the county commissioners, Board of County Commissioners, my 4 other colleagues and myself, we fund a lot of this. Obviously, you administer it all, but it's the great men and women that we have working for us there. And we have a great staff. And I wanted to be on the record to say that none of this happens without them and the great training program that you have. And actually, the way that they just like their job. Let's be serious here. If you could get up every morning and say, I work for the park system, it's not a bad place to work.
Yeah. Well, a lot of our folks do feel a connection to the parks because they do love nature. They love being outside. They like being active. But certainly the heart and soul of our workforce are park rangers. Mm-hmm. And number one, you mentioned the training. They're ready to help visitors in an emergency. In fact, just within the last 3 weeks, there were 2 incidents that required life-saving intervention by our park rangers. So they are present 365 days a year, holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, dawn to dusk and beyond. They're there as a reassuring presence to our visitors. And also they're there to provide information. Hey,
exactly.
Where can I get a fishing license? Or, what's the best nature trail to take? So they wear many hats, and we have a lot of other great professional and recreation staff. But we try to follow the lead of our park rangers, who really kind of present the polished image that we like to offer to our residents.
So, Andrew, I want to thank you for being here today. In this short little segment, we put a ton of information together, and we could have gone on for hours because of what the park system does. So, again, lastly, please, on behalf of the County Board of County Commissioners and your commissioners there at the park system, we want to thank our staff for the great job that they do there. So with that being said, I want to thank you again for joining us today. That's all we have for this episode of Monmouth in Focus. See you next time.